Fuzion here, back another video. Today we're going to be reacting to some Max Kellerman, Keyshawn Johnson, and some Jay Williams. They're going to be talking about Rui Hachimura, how he joined the Lakers yesterday. Personally, I do like to see more athletic guys on the team. He averaged about 13 points a game. He'll shoot about 2 or 3 threes a game, and he'll maybe hit one of them. He reminds me of Lonnie Walker to a certain extent. Just a young, athletic guy who has a high motor, who will just be active on the floor, which is always great to have and to see. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. See what they got to say.
Rui!
That's the Wizards forward.
Rui.
You got to see on Twitch, man. Dennis Schroeder finds out in real time. He's like, what? What just happened? I got to call my agent. What's going on?
So, the deal includes, Jay, a 2023 second-round pick via Chicago that the Lakers own in 2029. And the less favorable of the Wizards and Lakers 2028 second-round picks. Knowing the details, do you think this is a good move for the Lakers?
Yeah, I think you can buy low for high upside. It first off lets me know that the Wizards are probably about to pay Kyle Kuzma the bag, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be a free agent. So he's going to get over $100 million for his next deal. And that Rui is a guy who is talented, but was coming off the bench in a logjam situation. A guy that's been really good at catch and shoot threes since the second year of his career, now in year 4. And I think he adds length. I think he's a guy that can play alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis when AD gets back and is healthy. It still doesn't help them with their depth, but I think it's an additional piece. And I think, frankly, with this additional piece, that should be enough to contend for the play-in position.
In my opinion, I don't know if it's an additional piece as far as for playoff contention. I mean, over playing contention. I think that we need to get a bunch of solid players and try to make some good trades. I think that is something that we are doing, trying to get rid of Kendrick Nunn, which hasn't really panned out like to be the best player. He's been decent, but he's been very inconsistent. Story of like the Lakers just itself being inconsistent like that. And I think that we still don't have a proper identity yet as far as are we going to be more defensive or are we going to use like this length and this and these athletes still. He will be great with LeBron. He's a catch and shoot guy as well as being pretty athletic, so we could see him doing a lot of back cut lobs, running the break as well, something that we can do. But overall, he's just another athletic guy to me. He'll hit some threes here and there, but he really doesn't take a lot of them. So I don't really think it's going to help in like the long run, honestly.
Or a playoff spot.
No,
It doesn't get you over the hump. Does not make you a championship contender.
It's not a championship.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not a get over the hump type situation. There are not guys out there that's available that can get you over the hump unless you just you deplete your picks, you deplete your roster, and that Lakers aren't right. They're not there. But I think when you look at 28, 29, it's so far down the line. They're trying to improve over the next 24 months because LeBron James isn't getting any younger. So this is all trying to set it up for them to be competitive into such due time that people can come off the books in 2024, Jay.
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
think that is the way they're thinking.
Yeah, I agree. So just like I stated before, this I don't think is a play for this year. More so, unless we do get a huge trade during the trade deadline. I did see at the Suns are trying to make some moves with Chris Paul. We have a lot of guards on our team, so I don't know how good a Chris Paul would be, but he's better than Dennis Schroeder, so you could move Dennis move Dennis Schroeder to the bench, or have Russ play the 2 guard, or you even had Dennis Schroeder play 2, and just play off it that way. But next year, I think in reality, we have maybe 3 more great years of strong like LeBron. 3 more years of it. Now, I don't know if he'll be going crazy like this next year, but you can expect about 20-25 points from him. So I think we should be pushing more for next year to make a move, be it over like the summer, making a huge trade. Again, with these different pieces that we do have with Hachimura, Lonnie Walker, he's playing a whole lot better, so his trade stock is going up as well. Who else? Schroeder, he's a decent point guard. He just has to be consistent and not be stupid. So there's that. Who else? Thomas Bryant, he's starting to break out. He's playing quite well as well, which was a surprise. But other than that, man, I do think that this Lakers team needs some more tweaking. But I also think it would be in our better interest to play for moves this summer. Because like these past 2 years, we really haven't done great with the offseason or the trade deadline trading. That's not something that we've been doing well with. So we need to make some moves. That's all, really.
Yep. Well, Russ comes off the books off season. Right?
Well, 2020, yeah, 2024 is what
24,
I mean.
yeah, 23, 24. So Russ comes off the book this off season, and then all of a sudden now you have cap space to operate with the length of a guy like Rui, with LeBron James, who will be,
Here's the question, Jay, because I always think about at least let's start with the starters, okay, before we get to the
And by the way,
bench.
you still have your 2 first-round picks.
Like, one of the reasons I liked, and Danny Green was a little long in the tooth, but I used to look at a guy like Danny Green and think, the thing about Danny Green is that's 20% of a championship starting 5, caliber starting 5. He can defend, he can do things, he can shoot the 3, all that kind of stuff. So you kind of lock it down, and it could be low cost or not too high a cost. When I look at Hachimura, I think if you're playing him next to LeBron and AD, if you think he is a starter next to those 2 guys, because those 2 guys are a lot toward a championship already, that's a really nice move. It's a nice piece to put in place. If you start him alongside of AD and LeBron in your front court, is he starting caliber on a championship team, depending what you put in the backcourt, of course, but do you think he can lock that down?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're playing with LeBron and AD, you have a chance to be a championship team, first off. And
Just from those highlights there, I see 2 ways that this can go. We can have Hachimura playing more of a Iguodala role, playing great defense, being like an athletic guy, hitting some shots here and there, but being a really strong defensive anchor. He has like the length. He's athletic enough to guard certain players. For example, maybe Giannis, Paul George. I think that Giannis got a bit of length on him, but not by much. Paul George comes to mind. Kawhi. Just those small forward / shooting guards, 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", just around there. Those type of players, that's who I want him to guard. Now, you did see that he does have a pretty solid shot. I do think his move is sort of slow. I don't know if it's just because it's on YouTube, but I do think that his first step could use a little bit of speed there. I could see LeBron definitely working with him. They do sort of have like that same big guy, football player, quote unquote, build to a certain extent. So I can see him putting in some work there. So who knows? He might be a solid pickup. I do already think he's way better than Kendrick. Now, I hate Kendrick Nunn so much. But yes, let's go ahead and continue.
I think Rui Hachimura, his pieces are compatible with the way LeBron and AD play. Off pick and pop. He's a guy that can pop, right? So think about how LeBron
Not lights
James.
out, but he can shoot it.
Yeah, he can shoot. Catch and shoot.
Right.
Catch and shoot is different than doing things off the dribble. So think about all the teams where LeBron James has won championships. He's had pieces around him that have been able to stretch the floor that allow him to have space. That's why a lot of people were wondering why the move for Russell Westbrook, because their games are extremely similar and you can shrink the floor. But now adding a guy like Rui, and if you're able to find something else for low cost, or maybe this offseason coming up, 3-and-D spaced out kind of guys, those are pieces
And
you can win a
maybe
championship
one
with.
guy who can take you off the dribble and get you a bucket when you need it in the fourth quarter type guy, right? And then the Lakers have something.
Or you go after a guy like Bogdanovich. I know Alan Yates and I talk about that
Please,
a ton. You hear about
please.
guys like Fred VanVleet
Yeah, well,
in that
that's
situation
like-
with
yeah.
Toronto, and some of the, like, they don't really know what is the direction of their future, of their franchise. There are pieces out there now you can put together.
Yeah, one.
I think that Fred VanVleet option is great. We send a few of our guards. Let him be the primary ball handler, and then let LeBron take some rest off of like the ball. He still has been playing great, but at the end of the day, he is getting older, and we want to keep as much pressure off of him as we can, especially right now since we don't have street clothes in right now. But just let him hold the ball like the last 10 minutes of like the game or so. But let Fred VanVleet like control, mostly control like the offense. So that's why that I think that it would be great to have a Chris Paul, someone who is a floor general, to let LeBron choose to be a slasher, or take people more down to the paint, more of the post game. So obviously right now we're not seeing much wear and tear, but eventually it will happen. This could slow up even more, and it will give us some more easy buckets, because obviously we all know what has worked with LeBron. Let LeBron collapse the defense by him just running in, dish out, hit threes. That's always worked. But obviously we don't have that, so we have to change. We could make a great, again, I keep on saying this, a great defensive core if we choose to. But, I don't know. But we'll see. Those were some good names that he did throw out, though. I do like that Fred VanVleet pickup. He's a great shooter. He has a great IQ. So I could see him really running that starting point, or even running a 2-guard, and have a LeBron, Hachimura, and Anthony Davis run, and then just run 2 smalls and 3 bigs and see how that works.
Well, especially once the books are kind of clean, there'll be options for the Lakers in the summer to take a look at some of these guys, no question about it. But when you ask the question, Max, could he be a part of a LeBron and AD? He may be the 4th guy instead of the 3rd guy. He may be the 5th guy instead of the 4th guy, but he's certainly part of the starting 5, and he has major upside.
Anyone who can give you 30 minutes of real starting minutes next to LeBron and AD
20,
in a lineup
25
is a good pickup for the Lakers
25.
right at this point. But I mean,
I'm telling you though,
down the road.
a piece that low key is out there. I said his name, Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, VanVleet would be great.
Because Fred can play off of LeBron and AD, because he can be a floor spacer, and then also he can relieve. Like,
Can
don't
initiate
forget
the
how
offense.
important Rondo was to that team when they won a chip in the bubble.
Right now,
Right,
give him
like
a better
somebody-
Didn't I say
better
this?
shot.
Give a break. I got ball handling responsibilities. I can create off the
Didn't I
dribble.
say that,
LeBron
though?
Play off me a little bit. The ball doesn't have to be in Bron's hands all the time.
Thanks for watching.
I just said that, man. We need someone to give LeBron a breather off of the ball. And who would be perfect with that? Someone like a Fred VanVleet. Now, Hachimura, he can develop into being that guy. I do think he needs some time with this team, like to learn as well as to play with someone like LeBron who can also show him again. Because I do think that they have very similar body types, very tall, broad, almost safety, tight end, swole cornerback type of builds. So you could see how working with LeBron to finish around the rim, using your body. And since he already has, well, I haven't seen him go crazy with like the threes yet, but if he has a good set shot or a good catch and shoot, he's a great pick and pop guy, and that's great. But that's pretty much everything, guys. Tell me what you guys think about the video. Tell me what you guys think about Hachimura joining the Lakers. Actually, I will be dropping another video later on today. This is going to be about just the Western Conference and how deep that is. And then later on this week, I have a Hogwarts video coming as well. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. And peace.